Everybody's talking about detachment right now, and it's because we've got Venus coming into Gemini, which is all about the play and relationships and harmony and peace and joy. Today, I want to dive into what you can expect during this season of Gemini in terms of your relationships. If we haven't met before, hi, my name is Sana. I am a feminine energy and embodiment coach, and I empower women to awaken the feminine within, live in their soft girl era, and thrive while attracting abundance and love and peace and joy in their life. 3 years ago, I had my first plant medicine ceremony, and I received the message that in order to thrive in my relationship, I needed to practice the law of detachment. At the time, I had absolutely no idea what that meant, but I remained open and curious during my journaling practices, during my meditations, and during my moments of solitude. What came through loud and clear was that I needed to detach physically from my husband without disconnecting our relationship, without dismantling our relationship, without breaking up, but I needed to create space physically in order for us to deepen our connection and fall even deeper into love. And I know this doesn't make sense, but stay with me here because I'm going to walk you through what I went through for the past 3 years and how I went from feeling needy, feeling like my husband wasn't loving me enough, feeling like I needed more love, feeling like I wasn't heard and seen and valued in my relationship, to now being so rooted and grounded in truth, in love, in freedom, in peace, in harmony, and most importantly, in joy. Because that's the purpose of being in a relationship. You don't have to be in a relationship to self-actualize, to evolve, to elevate, to grow as a human being. We are on a journey of becoming full and complete and divine beings and sovereign beings with or without the need for others. And that is what the law of detachment teaches us as human beings, as divine beings, that you don't need somebody else to complete you. You don't need somebody else to heal you. You are fully capable of doing the work on your own. However, we do need connections and we do need relationships with others, because when you are in relationships with others, it actually is a beautiful spiritual mirror so that you get to know yourself on such a deeper level. So for example, you may be doing all the journaling and all the meditating and all the solitude work, and you may think you are fully healed. And yes, to a level, you have reached a new point of elevation. You have reached a point in your evolution where you can actually create a very happy life for yourself, very peaceful, very beautiful, with friendships and community and connections. However, if your soul came here to go on the journey of love, if you came here to create new earth, most likely you are here on a love journey, which means your intimate relationships are going to mirror all of the places that you have yet to clear your karma so that you can do the sacred work you came here to do, which is to step into your dharma and create the impact you came here to create. There are souls that are here on this planet right now that are here to simply find a partner and create a very peaceful life. And that is absolutely magical and beautiful. And if that's your journey, I honor you. And I am so in awe of the way you are creating your own happily ever after. However, there's people that are here to step into the full epitome of what it means to be a divine feminine with or without a partner, and then attract a divine masculine so that she can deepen into the next level. This isn't about, one version being better than the other, or a big life is better or worse than a beautiful small life. And this isn't about, money or where you live or fame or any of that stuff. This isn't about the way that you would typically think what it means to be successful. This is for the people that are here to understand that the point of marriage is to have a sacred mirror that triggers all of the areas within ourselves that are yet left to be alchemized into even more love. So say that you are actually somebody who's already done this in a past life and you've already figured it out, and this life you may come to this planet to just enjoy the human experience. You may not have as much trauma, you may not have as much uncomfortable, unhealthy relationship dynamics, but for those of us, like myself, who had to break free from my family of origin in order to figure out who I am and why I'm here, this is the journey that I have been on with my husband, my relationship. We have started our relationship in a very big way in terms of, it was really electric, it was really energetic, it was a lot of highs and a lot of lows. He was stable, he was peace. I had a lot within my own self that was causing a lot of triggers. It was causing a lot of disconnection from my mind and my body. And I was somebody who did not have a control over my emotions. So I am a very emotionally driven person. I thought having emotions was kind of a curse. I thought that I wish I could just turn that off and be normal and be like everybody else and just not care about what others think about me or not care about trying to fit in so much, right? So I realized that I was trying to fit into the world that I was born into, but I came here to literally break free from that, go on a journey to self-actualization, to healing, and to really remembering who I am and why I'm here, and becoming somebody who is clear in my mental space, has my emotions in check, my energy and my aura is clear, and I'm not projecting all of these insecurities onto others. If this is the journey that you're on, you're most likely somebody who is in therapy or ready for somatic healing and doing a lot of the emotional regulation and really having a hard time connecting authentically with others in a way that feels fulfilling to you. It's not hard for you to draw people in. You are somebody who attracts a lot of different people, and people may even feel very safe with you and they may trauma dump on you. However, if you're not somebody who has your emotions in control or somebody who completely understands the concepts of healing and growth and personal development, you may feel very heavy, very burdened, and feel like you're just not yourself. So this video is for any of you guys who feel like you may be absorbing other people's energy too much. You don't have a control over your emotions. You feel like nobody understands you and you don't fit in, and you are wondering why it's so hard for you to just be happy and fulfilled and joyful like everybody else. Trust me, I have been there. I have been on the journey of feeling like I don't want to be alive anymore. I don't fit into this world. Why am I here? What is my purpose? I don't even want a purpose. I just want to leave. So I have a history of depression, and I have used plant medicine to heal myself and really sit with my emotions and really try to avoid the coping mechanisms that I am so accustomed to. And part of that journey was creating space between me and my husband so that I can go on this journey for myself. Before, I was relying on my husband to soothe myself when I am feeling hurt and abandoned and neglected, when I'm feeling like I don't fit in or belong, and I was using him as a clutch to belong and to have love and have meaning in this world. And that was draining his energy because I was taking and taking and taking and taking. I thought I was pouring into him. I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was taking care of him on the outside. But energetically, because I had so many emotional wounds and so much baggage and so much turmoil from my past, I energetically was bringing him down. And you saw this. He was struggling in his career. He was living paycheck to paycheck. We could barely make it work. And before I realized this, I thought, this is just life. This is how life is. Everybody struggles. Everybody's, in a situation where we're all hustling for the next level. But then I hit a point in my life where the way that I was living and operating was just not working for me. I knew there was more that was available to me. And it starts with that realization of you just have had enough. Enough is enough. I don't like this life. Why does everybody else get to live a life of peace and ease and abundance and joy and love, and I'm here struggling? So I knew that I needed to take full accountability to start healing. The way that I did it was very intuitively guided. I trusted my gut. I trusted the signs and synchronicities from the universe. I was feeling very connected to something greater than myself, which is why I went towards plant medicine instead of traditional therapy. I decided to try alternative methods of healing because I saw my friends and my family and they were in therapy and I didn't see much improvement and I didn't see them reaching the goals that I had for myself. The goals that I had for myself were confidence, self-concept, self-worth, not having my identity attached to things that satisfied my ego rather than things that fulfilled me deeply from within. I wanted deep connections. I wanted friendships that were deeper than just going out and drinking and partying. I knew I was on a different journey. So I started with a different way, a different modality, which for me was plant medicine. I used psilocybin mushrooms, 2 grams, and I decided to just trust in Mother Nature to guide me home back to myself. That was 3 years ago. Since then, I have completely learned how to surrender to a greater plan. I have learned how to let go of control of trying to make sure that my life is perfect or the way that I want it to be. I decided that I was going to have full faith that God had my back, that I was taken care of, that I didn't understand what was happening to me. I didn't have words for it. I literally just took life day by day. I went to the park a lot in Central Park. I would just sit and I would just read things that would spark interest in me. I read The Alchemist. I read The 4 Agreements, The 5th Agreement, Mastery of Love, Brianna Wiest's books. I read, just whatever would spark something in me. I started listening to podcasts. I really started to understand why it is so important to go on a journey of personal development. And then what was happening was, as I was gaining more awareness and more emotional intelligence, I started to really awaken my intuitive intelligence, which is the feminine energy that everybody's talking about. And this is available to every single human. This is our body's intelligence. You start to awaken the Shakti, the soul essence that you have within. And you start to really notice that, oh, I'm actually not just a human being. I'm actually so much more. And you start to really connect with your soul's frequency. And you understand that everything is energy. And you start to really pay attention to all the signs and synchronicities and understand that the universe is so vast and so abundant and ever growing and evolving. And what we are here to do is to just enjoy the human experience to its fullest potential. Once I grasped on this idea, that is when everything started to shift. And I started to realize my only purpose on this planet is to let my inner child be fully expressed in the way she wants to. That's when I started to really dance instead of just sit and meditate. I started to paint and write and script and tap into more art and creative avenues in order to heal my inner child, in order to connect deeper with my inner child. I started to really pause with my conversations with my husband and try to process as quickly as I could. Okay, what's happening here? What is the reality? I wanted to go deeper than what my initial reaction was so that I can understand the bigger picture. I wanted to know the truth of why things are happening instead of just sitting in victim consciousness and blaming everyone and everything outside of me. I really, really started to take full, radical accountability for my emotions, for everything that's happening around me, for my relationship with my husband, and for my life, for my career, for my way of life. Not a job, right? But more importantly, my entire way of life. I realized that I was living a very one-dimensional life where I was like, okay, I'm gonna make money and I'm gonna be married and I'm gonna just take my 1 or 2 vacations a year and that's it. I realized that wasn't enough for me, and I wanted a life that felt more full. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant until I went on this journey and I started doing all these things. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love living. I love watching the sunsets. I love sitting at the beach. I love sitting in nature. I love the wind on my face. I love trees. I just fell completely in love with Mother Earth. And on that journey of falling in love with our planet, I started to get connected with my body. I started to understand the cycles of the moon and connecting that with my period cycle. And I started to really understand the whole bigger picture of who we are and why we're here, and the game of life, which is to question every single thing and come up with your own truth. And that has given me the power of choice and understanding that every single time I hit a crossroads in life, I have 2 options. I can take the path of comfort out of fear of the unknown, or I can dive headfirst into the unknown over and over and over again and go on an adventure and not know what's next, but be radically surprised. So if you are somebody who just does not feel fulfilled in a life that feels very traditional or feels very, normal for most people, you're not here to be normal. If you're a creative and you want a creative life, and in order to have a creative life, you need to be willing to completely surrender to all of your subconscious programming that has been ingrained in your brain from society, traditions, culture, patriarchy, capitalism, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on and on. Our job here on this planet as spiritual beings on this journey is to question every single thing the way it is and choose what you want to keep and let go of the rest. So I did this first with my life. I did this secondly with my relationship. And then third, I did it as my whole life, right? So this means I had to detach from my identities. I had to detach from my ego's desires. I had to detach from my narratives that were repeating over and over in my head that I'm not loved, I'm unworthy, I don't deserve things. All of these things that society conditions onto women specifically, of if you're not skinny, if your skin's not perfect, if you don't look a certain way, then you just don't deserve the things that other people do. That is the patriarchal way of life, where there is like a hierarchy and there are certain people that deserve more than the rest and only a few deserve the best of the best. That's not the life I believe is true. I believe that we have the power to shift our frequency and tap into a different way of life that is available to us right here, right now, not some faraway dream. Because the life that I live now, the people that I connect with, the communities that I'm a part of are absolutely magical. And I have incredible help from a higher power that brings in the perfect opportunity at the right time that I need it, the money when I need it, the friendships when I need them the most, random strangers saying the most random things that are exactly what I needed at the moment that I needed it, stumbling upon the perfect book or podcast the moment I need it, and staying open to all ways of life and remaining a forever student of this journey. Because there are things that I thought to be so true 3 years ago that now I'm just like, I don't think that's true anymore. For instance, this entire journey of like what it means to be a feminine and a masculine. Being a feminine means being subservient to a masculine. No, that's not true to me anymore. It doesn't feel true to my body. Now, what it means to be a feminine, for me at least, is having the power to choose the life that you want. That's feminism. That it's not about, oh, I must work, or I could work as hard as a man, or that I must sit at home and cook and clean. Like, the point of being a woman on this planet is to understand and remember that you have the power to choose whatever life you want, whether you want a partner or not, whether you want to have children or not, whether you want to work or not, whether you want to have the perfect sculpted body or not, whether you want to eat vegan or not. Point of it is, it may seem so hard and overwhelming to have so much choice, but the beauty of it all is that you actually aren't really the one making the choices. Your body is telling you exactly what it needs in the moment that it needs it. Some seasons you may need to have a more plant-based diet, but other seasons maybe you do need more meat, right? Like understanding that there's no one way that works for the rest of our lives. We are ever growing, eternal, changing bodies and people, right? Like every 7 years, our body composition is shifting and changing. So of course, we're going to want different things, want different lifestyles, want to try different identities, want to try different hobbies and interests. You're not ever stuck in just one way, and what you choose today is allowed to change tomorrow. That's the journey that I'm on, is this ever evolving, growing, shifting evolution of me, and I am so excited to keep learning who I am and who I'm becoming and letting go of identities and picking up new ones and just enjoying my life as it comes and goes without attaching to this one vision that I have for how life is supposed to be. And that is how I practice the law of detachment and allowing possessions and people and things to come and go, and while I have them, just enjoying them to the fullest capacity that I can, because nothing is guaranteed in life. People can pass away at any moment. Anything can happen at any moment. And this isn't to cause anxiety. It is to cause appreciation and gratitude for every single thing that we have right here, right now. And knowing that you can still have goals and dreams for your future, but not attaching to them as your sense of worth, because once you have these things, you're not going to feel more worthy. You're just going to enjoy them when you have them. Your sense of worth comes right here, choosing that you are worthy of those things, and that's even how you call it in, and that's the whole point of manifestation. Maybe I'll get into that in another video, but today I really do want you to think about what it means to practice law of detachment and how you can find your sense of worth in who you are right here, right now, not based on your relationships or your identity or your work or your money or your possessions. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode today. If you found any sort of value in this episode, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps me a lot, because then it helps me attract more people that are looking for this video. So I really appreciate your help. Also, I am working on an ebook on awakening the feminine within. It's going to go through all of the 7 chakras of safety within your own body to be your true self, activating your passions and your hobbies, clarity in who you are and why you're here, increasing capacity for difficult conversations and the duality of the ebbs and flows of life, and learning how you can create a life of joy and wonder and magic and fulfilling relationships, and most importantly, the freedom to choose the life that you want and being intentional about creating it. Reactivate this life force that is innate in each and every single one of us that has been dimmed down by all of the society's programming. I hope you sign up for the waitlist below, and it will be out soon. I can't wait to put it out into the world. I am so excited for it. All right, guys, I will see you next time.